Engage with the reductor real quick.
Damn,
Prove it.
Okay, he did, I guess. See, look, I see one person. Takun, you're awesome. Takun said I did it. You see? Because he's not lying.
Yeah, no, I don't remember though, right? People are just saying he did though. I don't know. So like,
Okay.
People
So
are just saying I remember because they're just spamming.
no, I remember. See, look at that. People remember it. I've already clipped it.
No, those are the same people spamming it.
He did it. You see, everyone remember, and I just did it earlier.
It's literally the same person.
I just did it now. If you didn't understand, I just did it now too. That's the craziest part. Hey, look at that. Hey, base, chat is based now. Chat is based.
Can you just do it real quick so that we can move?
Okay, let's get this poll going. Get a poll. If you get a poll and if the poll gets me, I'll do it.
Okay, everyone.
Don't remember.
Smiley face for him to get to do it, and then crying face for he doesn't do it. Okay.
Or one is
smiley face he does it, crying face he doesn't do it.
If you don't remember me doing it, or if you remember me doing it.
No, you just changed it. So
you're right.
Whatever I said goes.
Continue.
Sheila, thank you so much for the. I appreciate it.
3.2K. Damn, 36 people, 39 people.
Wait, Sheila, where'd you see that? I don't know. I didn't see anything. So yeah, go for it.
Hold on. We gotta wait for this poll to be over, man.
We don't have to wait for it to be over.
There's 3.1K. We can wait at least a little. Get this poll up. Shit. Fuck. There's 64. Fuck.
You obviously see it's done. Can you just go?
It's not done. What do you mean? What do you mean it's done?
Vic, honestly, stop wasting my time. I'm gonna go to the next person. Can you please stop wasting my time?
You can go to your next person.
All right, have a good day.
Hey, have a wonderful evening.
All right, next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree. We are just looking for some debates. Tap that screen. Let's run it up to 100,000 likes real quick. Only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm sick of him dragging it, bro. It's like actually annoying. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, how old are you? Hello? Okay, all right.
27.
We're going to the next person real quick. Only send a guest request if you disagree. We are just looking for some debates. Keep tapping that screen. Let's run it up to 100,000 likes real quick, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello.
Okay, all right. We're going to go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you think that spanking is not abuse, y'all. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
It's ridiculous.
Okay, chill out.
How old are you?
Sorry. I don't believe.
You're not old enough. That was a fetus, chat. That was a fetus. Bros removing them so fast. Yep, we just got to go through. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 24.
What's your birth year?
1999.
For sure. Do you think that spanking is abuse?
I don't think it's abuse, but I think it's a horrendous parenting tactic. I actually, about 3 days ago, just finished a problem analysis paper. I'm in college, about why it should be ended as a practice. So I'm not gonna lie. I have probably like 25 sources about why it's like a horrendous practice. But as far as abuse, I don't think it falls under abuse, but I think it's like a precursor to it.
What's your definition of abuse? Because it's probably just a semantical difference. Do you think you should never spank kids?
I don't think you should hit your kids, no. Not in the name of like punishment, or I guess in any fashion, no. But as far as like what defines
I mean, if you're okay with
abuse,
saying that you should never spank kids, I'm okay with that conclusion. It just seems like a semantical disagreement then on how we define abuse.
So
Okay, all right, for sure. All right, appreciate coming up. All right, everyone, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you disagree. We are just looking for some debates. Tap that screen, everyone. Let's try to run it up to 100,000 likes, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
What's your birth year?
2004.
What month?
What month? August.
Nice math, dude. You'd be 19. All right, yo, what's up? How old are you?
22.
What's your birth year?
December 31st, 2000.
For sure. Yeah, do you think that spanking is abuse?
I think it's kind of a spectrum. It can be abusive. I don't think that it's always abusive, though.
When is a circumstance that you think it's not abuse?
Well, for instance, like if your child gets in trouble at school for picking on a kid that, like bullying them, hurting them, I think that if you, and I'm not saying like full on like Mike Tyson, your child. No, just like I feel like if you give them a light smack and be like, hey, that's not cool, you don't do that to other kids, that kind of humiliates them in that moment and makes them feel like, damn, like kind of like their victim that they picked on.
Yeah, so I don't think that we should reinforce these same types of attitudes. If they're hitting people, we should not reinforce them hitting people by hitting them, right, as a conflict resolution. I don't think that hitting them is going to make them engage in better behavior. Hitting them is actually more likely to lead to them like not listening, like doing the wrong thing, right, engaging in aggressive behavior, having anxiety, depression, PTSD. Like these are methods of like externalizing behavior, right, that we see to be significantly more prevalent given the fact that they're spanking.
Yeah, I definitely see your point on that. I guess in the long run, the developmental issues it does bring would definitely constitute abuse at that point, yeah. I just feel like in some points, as a parent, it's really difficult to, understand that, that long run developmental thing. And I think I kind of lost a little bit of sight on that too, honestly. So I agree. I kind of lost sight on that a little bit, honestly.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming up. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for having me up.
All right, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree, if you think that spanking is not abuse. We are just looking for some debates. Let's get on to the next individual real quick, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you? All right, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you disagree. We are just looking for some debates, y'all. Keep tapping that screen. Let's run it up to 100,000 likes real quick, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
21.
For sure. Do you think spanking is abuse?
Yes, I do. I think it basically just shows a child that it's okay to hit somebody or spank somebody or slap somebody just because they did wrong. I think because as a veteran, I was in the military. I learned military punishments were a lot more.
Hey, man, I absolutely agree with you. I am just looking for people who disagree, and I am just looking for some debates here today, but I do appreciate you coming on, man.
Yep.
Thank you so much, bro. All right, let's go on to the next person. Please only send a guest request if you do disagree. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you think that spanking is not abuse, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, I'm 22.
Do you think that spanking is not abuse?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Because, no. Okay, just hear me out. If you're in like a controlled environment, if your kids are in like a calm house, then I don't see why spanking like would be abuse if you're not hurting them. Like if they have no bruises on them, okay? If they're just like acting up and yelling isn't like working, then like what else are you supposed to do?
You shouldn't yell at them either.
So how are you going to discipline?
Disciplining isn't through yelling and through hitting. That's actually just like probably trauma that leads people to thinking like that is somehow going to fix the circumstance. How you actually deal with circumstances is by using like communication, right? Typically, like if people are like emotionally dysregulated, you give it a minute, you let people calm down, you try to do breathing work, stuff like that, and then you come back and you talk about it and you reflect upon it after the feelings aren't so high. All right, we do that with interpersonal relationships with people who are older. We also do this with children as well.
Would like smacking them on the hand be the same thing as spanking?
I think it's bad too. Yeah, they're both different types of considered physical punishment.
All right, that's all I had.
Okay, well, do you care about the harms associated with spanking or physical punishment?
I got spanked as a kid, and like I'm fine. So I think it just depends on like the child.
There
like
are people who have been they consider themselves fine now. Does that mean that was an abuse?
But what if it doesn't bruise them?
So again, the idea is that like if you're going to relate to bruising, specifically like bruising is easier to happen with some people than it is with others, right? The level of force or magnitude that you're going to use to bruise an individual in one sense could be this high and it's going to be considered abuse because it leaves a bruise. And then the other sense, it could be this high in terms of the magnitude or force, but it doesn't cause a bruise. So this wouldn't be considered abuse. So how do you reconcile with that, given that there would be such a distinction in the magnitude?
I don't know. You got me. I really don't know. Because I don't see how spanking is abuse. I really don't.
Well, what do you consider abuse?
Like bruises. I mean, like from head to toe, brain damage if they get like hit on the head. Because that Maya Kowalski case. Well, they took her mom from her, and they lied about her mom abusing her, which she was not doing, and then she killed herself because they thought that, like, I don't know, it's just.
By the way, you have to say unalive. Just letting you know. But yeah, but that's so again, I don't think that means that you have to have like brain damage or like you have to be hurt in
I
that
really
capacity
feel like
for it to
that's,
only
like,
be considered
that's
abuse.
though.
Is breaking bones abuse?
Yeah.
Okay. So you also think bruising is abuse, right? Or is
Yeah.
bruising not abuse?
No, yeah. Bruising, I think, is abuse, but like not just a tap on the butt. Like, I don't think that's abuse.
What do you mean tap on the butt?
Like, I get what you're saying, like spanking like multiple times, and if they're still not,
Even spanking once has an effect.
how?
Yeah, well, I mean, the studies actually demonstrate based upon each spank, like how much of an impact that's going to be.
You've never gotten tapped on the butt by your mom or dad?
No, I was not spanked.
Well, I don't know. I don't think like getting tapped on the butt or like tapped on the hand is really abuse.
Okay, but it leads to like significantly greater impacts in terms of a greater likelihood of aggressive behavior, being disobedient, not listening, which increases the behavior.
Is that what
engaging in the first place? PTSD, anxiety, depression. It increased the likelihood of them achieving an increase in like the chance for this. Yeah. So it's not every person experiences this, but there's an increased greater likelihood of it happening.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah. So, actually, right? Do you think that the current things that are considered maltreatment under U.S. law should be considered illegal still, or would you think that we should roll back on those?
I think it's illegal.
You think that they should stay illegal?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, they have the same types of outcomes as spanking, right? Statistically indistinguishable. Okay. So if you think that one should be illegal, but the other one should not, what would be the relevant difference between the two to say that one should be illegal and the other one should not?
I don't know. I just don't think spanking's abuse, but
it seems like you would consider it abuse based upon what you currently consider maltreatment under U.S. law.
I don't have any points because I'm not really like educated on that really.
Okay, well, I mean, I have a study that's in my link tree in my bio. Like, there's a bibliography that compares like physical punishment to other things that we would consider physical abuse or like maltreatment.
Like what?
Yeah, so like it would be like a various set of things like bruising, like slapping, hitting, right? Things like that.
Breaking bones and stuff.
Yeah. And we see that they have literally like an indistinguishable set of outcomes. Thank you, Kobe. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So yeah, like if the outcomes are the same, what tells us that one is bad, the other one's not? It doesn't seem like there's a reason, right? They're the same outcomes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, then it seems like you would consider it abuse then, or you should say that it should be illegal.
No, it shouldn't. Well, I don't know because everything that I'm looking at right now, it's saying like spanking children may impair the brain development. Like I'm not seeing, I think my mind is changing because I'm not seeing like any positive outcomes on it.
Yeah, I know. I've looked it up and I literally like I don't see any net positives.
I'm trying to find like something, but there's nothing.
Yeah, I know that I've actually done the same. I've been searching too. I've been doing this topic. I've literally seen one study that showed the same outcomes in the control group that was spanked and the one that was not spanked, but given like 8 conditions of different types of communication that was not applied in the sense of the individuals that were not spanked. So like in best case scenario, it wouldn't provide any positive benefit.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now. But so how do you discipline a kid then if they're acting up, like, and you can't yell at them either?
Yeah, so there's something called like time in, time out, right? So it's about getting them out of a place in which has currently made them emotionally dysregulated and like working through their problems, giving them tools that they can be able to deal with in the future. stuff like that. That has shown in studies to be significantly more effective at dealing with their behavior than we would associate with other circumstances. Whereas like if you can't deal with it in terms of communication, trying different types of communication methods, talking to people that also have kids is beneficial, talking to professionals, right, is beneficial for being able to like try different methods of communication. Because ultimately the backbone of all that we're going to rely on is communication at the end of the day. So making sure that you as a parent have more effective methods of communication is very, very important for not only maintaining your emotional stability as it relates to taking care of the kid, but also maintaining the child's emotional stability.
I have a scenario. What if your kid has like ADHD or ADD and it's hard for them to like sit in one place for a while? Like, what do you do then? Like, because you can't do time in, time out because they just won't. They won't like sit down for that long and stay there.
Michael, thank you. And Alexis, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Well, then it's about like walk, like maybe we should go on a walk.
Okay.
Like
All
that,
right.
like something like that, right?
Yeah.
Because it seems like they need to like get some energy out, move around, right? There's also medication.
Fuck medication.
Well, I mean, talk to the doctor, talk to your doctor, right? It can absolutely be beneficial for your kid if it is the case that that's becoming a detriment to their schooling, to their personal life, right? To many of the things in their life. So, I mean, it does serve its purpose.
All right. Well, I don't really have anything else to say.
All right, for sure. I appreciate you coming up. Thank you so much.
All right, bye.
All right, everyone, we're going to go on to the next person. If you like the content, follow me. If you're ready, tap that screen. Let's run it up to 150,000 likes. If you disagree, send a guest request right now if you think that spanking is not abuse. We're going to go on to the next person. Please only send a guest request if you think that spanking is not abuse. And by the way, thank you so much, Alexis and Michael. I appreciate the Venmos. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next person real quick, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hi, I'm 27.
For sure. Do you think spanking is abuse?
I don't think it's abuse when it's obviously I think it depends on the definition of abuse.
Yeah.
So my definition of abuse would be the whole like bruising, breaking bones, black eyes, stuff like that. But I think like a tap or a slap on the hand kind of thing, I don't classify that as abuse. But of course, I'm open to learning and being educated and changing my mind.
Yeah, so as it relates to like bruising specifically, I could just ask you about this. So there are some people that bruise easier than others, right? So like the level of magnitude necessary to entail abuse in one scenario might be like this level, whereas in the other scenario, there'll be a significantly greater level of force to produce a bruise. So they might like have this level of magnitude and they don't consider a bruise. So this wouldn't be abuse, even though it's significantly greater in magnitude or force than the individual that we would consider abuse in the other scenario.
Right. So are you talking about like if someone has, like I know, for example, if someone has low iron, they're going to bruise easier and stuff like that. But that still wouldn't classify a tap on the hand as abuse, just because they bruise a little bit easier. Like some people bruise like peaches, it doesn't mean.
So then you don't judge based upon bruising.
Right. No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I think I classify. Also, you were mentioning what the definition of like maltreatment or something is in America. I don't live in America, so can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah. So I was just saying that things that are currently considered illegal under United States law in terms of maltreatment have statistically like indistinguishable outcomes from like spanking. So like if we were to say that like one is going to be considered illegal or maltreatment, then we would also say the same for the other, given that they have the exact same types of outcomes in terms of children's development.
Right. So what about like, for example, the way I've seen people spank their kids as far as, tapping them a little slap on the hand kind of thing is when they're playing with like a plug hole or something like that. And, it could be like a, what's the word, like a reflex kind of, just to be like, oh my God, you're going to hurt yourself or stuff like that. Do you just recommend?
Or we can put things on there to be safety. I don't think that we should hit them in the first place. I think that we should put them out of a circumstance where they can't necessarily do that, or make sure that there's safety things on that.
Ah, right. Okay. No, I understand. I was open to talking and being educated, but thank you for helping me understand that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. All right, let's go to the next person. Everyone, only send a guest request if you disagree. I'm liking how people are just interested in engaging with the topics and learning. So I like that. But yeah, keep tapping that screen, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
32.
Do you think spanking is abuse?
I mean, it's a very controversial topic, I mean, spanking is abuse. I mean, I have a lot of things going through my mind because like, if you're not used to violence, if you can't get to a level of violence when you grow up, what's going to happen if the government like comes after you, or, you know, another man chooses you, and initiates violence towards you, and you have to protect your family or the spouse that you're with, or, you know, your children, you know, are you going to be ready for that?
I don't think that I need to be spanked in order to be able to defend myself. I think that's pretty wild. I don't think that if there are multiple people that like break into your house at night, that you're just going to be able to defend them like you're fucking 007, right? That's just not going to happen.
No one
right?
said 007. I mean, that's the extreme. But
you're bringing up the extreme. You're bringing up a circumstance where people like come in spec ops into your like house
before. Have you?
What's that?
You're bringing up a circumstance that you've never experienced. I can tell you lived a very sheltered life. Yes, your parents have probably used better communication than most. But you know, what are the steps you're going to take when you need to initiate violence in order to protect your own family? I just want to know that.
Yeah, so like in what context? Like what are you like what context am I going to have to initiate violence?
I just gave you an example. Like let's just say like randomly you're walking down the street, let's say with your spouse or your loved one or your children, and there's probably a couple guys that want to maybe, you know, mug you. What kind of steps will you take in order to
and in that scenario you're supposed to listen to the like what the orders are. In most circumstances, that reduces your risk of violence. You're not supposed to fight them.
So you're
fighting them puts you at a greater risk of violence and like getting hurt and dying.
That's correct. So how would you de-escalate the situation? By communication to another person that may be just violent their whole life? And
what do you mean de-escalate? So like they've already tried to take your money and stuff. You give them what they want, and then you get out of that circumstance.
That's what you want to do?
Yes, okay. you give them your wallet. You don't fight back. What?
What if they're not armed? What if
I'm not going to put the people around me at a greater likelihood of risk if they're not armed?
Yes.
And they're just trying to like fight me?
No, they're trying to grape your spouse or one of your children.
Obviously you're going to try and get out of that circumstance and
so
like fight them off.
What steps would you take in order to do
Because they don't have like a weapon.
If you can't communicate with them. There are other people in the world. This is a physical
That's
world.
Self-defense. You understand that, right? When
I
you're
understand,
engaging in spanking your child, that's an initiation of force. That's not self-defense.
It's a programmable.
Yeah, it's programming them to be significantly more likely to develop anxiety, depression, PTSD, aggressive behavior, externalization of behaviors, which includes
that's the extreme, sir. I'm talking about.
No. This is like just given spanking.
I'm talking about situations where you like literally like you never had experience in violence. I'm asking you what step. This is like the 5th time I've asked you. I just want to know what steps.
Have I not answered your questions, man?
No, you haven't. What steps?
I've clearly answered your questions.
To defend yourself. What steps are you going to take in order?
It depends on the context of the circumstance. Like what's going to lead to me being the most safe, and to my family being the most safe.
Okay, gotcha. So I've been in an experience where I went over a friend's house when I was a child, very young, and he was bigger than me, but we were friends. And he did something that I didn't like. As a child, you just react. You don't respond. You don't have the ability to, think about, a response. You kind of react. So I went
Heather, thank you so much for the $20. Can we get a W, Heather, in the chat, everyone? Thank you so much, Heather. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Heather, for interrupting. So...
Oh my god, bro. Yo, you're like so annoyed, dude.
Yeah, just
cry about it. Cry about it, Andrew. Cry about it, buddy.
God. I knew you'd get a rise out of that. But I'm just saying, the father came in and I told him I was upset. I was like, he's, bullying me, or he's like overpowering me, like do something. So he picked him up and he was like, what do you want me to do? He bent him over his knee and he started spanking him. But the kid was laughing. He was laughing at the same time. So there's some sort of controversial topic, meaning that it could be play, when you're spanking a child and letting them know that yes, we're in a physical world.
Play?
Yeah, play.
Yeah, so play. So play that puts them at a significantly greater likelihood of all these different types of bad and detrimental outcomes that relates to their own development. Yeah, just play. right? Yeah, why would you? Yeah, that's ridiculous, dude. Holy fuck, that's crazy.
What? Why is it ridiculous?
Dude,
You're talking. No, but you said you're simply saying spanking is abuse. So like we're talking about different scenarios. We're talking about extremes and non-extremes. I mean, what do you want to talk about? What is abuse to you?
Spanking, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Vicky,
but
thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Spanking, my friend, and everything got resolved. Everything was okay. But like, what kind of like, level are you talking about? I'm asking questions. You're not answering them.
I am answering them.
No, you're not. You're looking at your phone, waiting for the next Venmo. Can you answer my question?
I am literally. What question did I not answer, Andrew? I've answered every single question you've asked.
I said, what steps are you going to take?
I have answered that question like 5 times, Andrew.
What is the step? Like, how are you going to defend yourself if you don't know any?
I'm going to literally turn into John Wick, right, and take out all of them, right? Like it's fucking Mortal Kombat. What do you want me to say? What the fuck do you want me to say?
Yo, you're getting so angry right now.
No, Andrew. I've answered this question multiple times.
You get defensive.
I'm sorry. I'm getting more stern with what I'm saying, right?
No, I think you think you're wrong, and now you're going to do a.
No, I'm just being stern with what I'm saying because we've gone over the same thing multiple times.
And interrupt the debate because I have a point, and I'm making it, and you don't like it. That's all it is.
What are you talking about? I've engaged with it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about like, you're going to be in a world. Are you prepared to be sheltered your whole life? You're going to be in a world where you're going to be interacting with very, violent people that are capable to getting to that level.
Yeah, and you're going to create more violent people if you think that it's okay to engage in spanking on a societal level.
No,
you understand that, right? Because it literally does create a predisposition for more violence. It doesn't say that every single time someone gets spanked, they are going to be more violent, right? It says that it puts society at a greater predisposition towards engaging in violence.
Yes, that's correct. As long as they're not communicating with the child at a level where they tell them that they understand that there are people in the world that are going to do this to you. So if you don't this is the physicality of our human world. You think that you can just go out?
Okay, because there's sexual violence that happens in the world, does that mean that you should engage in sexual violence towards your children?
I'm not talking.
No, right?
Don't get into another.
So just because things exist in society doesn't mean that you should do those same things to your children.
That's correct. But I'm asking you, if you're in a situation where you never experience violence, if the communication aspect is correct, okay. Like if there's a man that there's a father, you mouth off to another man in the world, or if you're in a dangerous place, you need to protect you and your family. You need to understand that. And
so take a fucking martial arts course. Take jujitsu.
There you go.
Don't hit your kids.
Are you gonna do that? So why aren't you promoting?
Yes, I did. As a kid, I took martial arts.
As a kid, you did karate.
I did kung fu. Yeah.
Okay, kung fu. All right, let me ask you this though. This is very important. About 73% of the men incarcerated, or the people incarcerated, come from single mother homes, and the fathers are meant to be there as to teach individualism. And the fathers do most. It's
not specifically a father. If you look at gay relationships or lesbian relationships, they produce good outcomes in children too.
That's a very small percent of the world. Okay, that's a very small percent. You're wrong. We're not talking about some micro situation that you're thinking.
No, you're saying that a man is required to produce individualism. Well, it seems like women can also do the same thing.
That's a fact. The 73% of the people incarcerated come from single mother.
I would love to see where would you.
And most fathers do the spanking. Am I correct? I mean, would you be? I was afraid of my father.
No, there's also maternal spanking. I can give you character rates on
what
maternal
the hell is maternal spanking?
Maternal.
Okay, that's on a very
maternal spanking.
Micro basis. This is another situational fact that
so
bring up.
As it relates to as it relates to spanking, each spanking, maternal spanking wise, increases the rate of externalizing behavior, or the risk of externalizing behavior increasing by 4% every single time there's a spanking in terms of maternal spanking. It's highly significant.
So spanking may not be abuse because it's only 4% per spanking.
No, you're not understanding. 4% increase in the risks of this happening each spanking. That's wild.
Yes,
that's
spanking.
extremely high.
What if you only spank your children once? That's only a 4% increase.
Again, increasing the risk of these things increasing. Absolutely, that's a huge thing.
It has to be over 50%, just like the fact that I gave you.
What are you talking about? You're misunderstanding the statistic. This is each time there's a spanking.
Each time there's a spanking within the household.
Each time there's a spanking. Yeah.
All right, get to your computer, sir.
No, I was clicking the thing because like the comments.
Sorry.
No, the comments because I record my lives. The comments it says like 200 messages. So I have to click it so that the comments continue to keep moving.
Okay. All right. So don't interrupt. Let's go back to the 4%.
I wasn't interrupting. Cry about it.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I really wasn't.
All right, that's fine. What is you said 4%?
Yeah, that's just looking at maternal spanking. Wait, that's just looking at maternal spanking. If you look at behavior problems at age 3, that's 30% each spanking, 31%.
I thought you said 4, sir.
That's for behavior problems at the age of 3 with maternal spanking and ACEs.
Okay, so we have to understand, like 3 years old, that could be. That's very unacceptable. I mean, if you're hitting your child, at a very high physical force, since, a man hitting a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, that could, potentially lead to, brain trauma or, something very physically worse than, growing up with PTSD. I mean, that's very dangerous.
That's exactly, that's bad. Yeah. That's what, when we're talking about externalized behavior, that's the greater risk that you're putting your kid at each time you do that.
That external behavior, that's the greater risk. I mean, everything's...
No, externalized behavior takes into account all those different types of things that you're relating to, right?
You mean like within the world? External behavior after the spanking?
No, it's just confusing language. It's taking into account things like anxiety, PTSD, depression, different types of things that could result from like spanking and stuff like that.
Yeah, but yeah. Again, I think you made a good point, and I'll give you that. Communication is key. So after a spanking, I'm not looking for fathers and mothers to come home from a hard day's work and take out their frustration and spank their children because someone lipped off to them like at work. That creates confusion. I understand that. But if you're being disrespectful to, say, your grandmother, swearing in public, and you won't stop, you might deserve like a little whack, a little tap.
I don't think you deserve to get hit, but I think that you should stop treating your people that you care about like around you that way. Yeah. And I think that you can stop them without engaging in that particular use of spanking. Actually, like, do you think that we should roll back child maltreatment laws in the United States?
The man-made laws, back to the man-made laws, Parker.
Yeah. So do you want to? Yeah. So do you want to? No. Do you want to roll them back? I'm just asking if you want to roll them back because they have the same outcomes as spanking.
No, Parker. Let's roll it back to the fact that fucking what DCS has had a horrible run, and there's been many children experience abuse, and they haven't not protected them. How about that? Let's roll it back to that. You want to talk about the laws, the man-made laws, and everything,'s all corrupt?
When did I say laws are good? I didn't say when. Wait, hold up, Andrew. I didn't say all laws are good. I never made that claim. What I said is that if you're for keeping the current laws as it relates to maltreatment illegal in the United States, well, then you're going to say that spanking should also be illegal because it leads to the same outcomes as it relates to child development.
Listen, I understand where you're at with this. I get it, but again, we're in a physical world.
I mean, where the evidence is at. I'm just following the evidence.
I just smacked you with over 50% of a huge fact, and you're telling me to go cry about it. I'm talking about single mothers.
What are you talking about?
Fathers that mostly do the discipline. Is that not right?
Yeah. Okay. So, well, you can talk about that. We also have runs on like paternal.
That's
effects.
Paternal is father. What do you mean? I was just saying that.
Yeah, we have paternal and we have maternal. We have studies and resources that relate to both.
Yeah, I mean, I get the fact that communication is definitely, the main component of a child growing up, confusion with, PTSD, random outburst, getting drunk and reacting to something that isn't part of reality because they haven't resolved the abuse that they went through as a child. I get that. But this is a very controversial topic. We're talking about spanking as abuse. Not all spanking is abuse. You're talking about physical violence. Punching in the face is abuse until they're blue in the face. That's abuse. But if you're going to take a child and
dude, I think you can consider both abuse. I don't know why that's contradictory.
Well, I mean, you're putting out to the public. I mean, it's spanking is abuse.
Yeah, we should not allow for spanking. We should not allow spanking in our society. We should move on from spanking because spanking leads to detrimental outcomes that relates to child development. Why the hell would we want to engage in behaviors that are going to put ourselves at a greater risk of negative outcomes and then pass those same problems down to our children? If
they're not communicating, though. But there's going to be a time where, I don't mean to sound crazy, but this is how our forefathers created the Constitution, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. You have to be prepared to protect yourself in how do I say this on TikTok? How am I going to say this? You have to be prepared to, ill somebody if they propose, if they... You're
talking about self-defense. Okay, spanking is not... Can you give me any study to indicate that spanking makes someone better at defending themselves?
How do you mean by that?
Can you give me any study that indicates that spanking makes someone better at defending themselves?
Studies, so you want to go to the evidence? What are your studies?
I can... my bibliography and my bio. Thank you very much. You can look through all of my different studies that I relate to. I have a whole bibliography just for you, buddy.
Oh my God, pal. You just don't understand it. I wish, my parents were together still. I wish I didn't have to go through what I went through, but the only thing that and I'll talk about this when I've read books and I've talked to other therapists, the only thing that was really a major component of my trauma was not communicating. Okay. There's a lot of parents out there taking out their frustrations on people that don't deserve it. I don't think that's right. I don't think spanking a child because you're frustrated and they're whining, that's not right. Okay? I think we can agree on that.
Obviously, I think spanking in any context is going to be bad. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to put that out there, folks.
Oh, all right.
There might be a situation where you need to protect yourself and you need to take the proper steps in order to defend yourself. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Can you give me any evidence to believe that spanking makes someone better at defending themselves?
Dude, I've been spanking you.
You got nothing, Andrew.
Dude, I've been spanking you this whole time.
Yeah, that's like.
How's that? How's that?
So you're literally you're not giving me any actual argument here. You're not giving me any evidence. Andrew, you're giving me a trust me, bro, like you do with every topic.
No. We just had a conversation.
And then you trust me, bro.
I didn't trust me, bro.
You did just trust me, bro. You're just trying to make an argument somehow that spanking puts someone at a greater position towards self-defense, but it doesn't in anything that you'd be able to reference.
I'm talking about personal experience, and I'm talking about the male gender. And
okay. So my anecdotal experiences when individuals didn't get spanked, they were better at self-defense.
Say again?
My personal experience is that when individuals weren't spanked, they were better at self-defense.
And how is that?
That's just my personal experience, bro. You said you're going off of personal experiences. That's my personal experience.
You would be on the ground, laid out, and I would take your girl.
Is that a threat?
That's it.
That's disgusting. It's not a threat. That is actually disgusting.
But I had the experience and where to like.
Andrew, you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy, pal. Yeah, that is disgusting. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what?
You're not that guy.
You're like caveman braining right now. Like, it's actually weird.
Well, no, it's not. It's in our DNA.
What do you mean it's in our DNA? What?
The caveman analogy. What do you like? It's in our DNA to protect ourselves and be masculine and fight when we need to.
Yeah. So being masculine isn't like just fighting everything you see, right? And being like a caveman.
I'm not trying to say that. I'm just giving you an example. That wasn't a threat. I'm just saying, like, I'm just giving you an example. Like, if you're on the street, bro, and somebody's like,
Andrew, you're actually not that guy, pal.
Oh, you're not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal.
What was that
I
video?
promise you, you're not that guy.
Everyone says win Andrew, so I don't know.
No, those are just people that disagree
be-
with me in the comment section. It's because the people who agree with me are less likely to spam it. Watch this. Spam L Andrew in the comment section.
Okay. They're just like your order followers. Look at there's one. Win Andrew, win Andrew. I beat you again, sir.
Oh wait, no, now we got some W Andrews.
Win
Fuck.
Andrew, win Andrew.
Yo, dude, maybe that's the first time I've ever. That's actually, I will give that to you. You got some W Andrews, but people now heard it. I think.
I think this is
people got some L's. You got some L's now.
you got some L's.
You got most sent though, so like I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give that to you. That's the first time it's ever happened in my chat.
It was the second time based off the Illuminati theory, but we don't have to get into that. TikTok
we've already talked about that.
TikTok actually got rid of that because I was speaking facts. I was speaking the truth.
They didn't get rid of anything.
Of things that happened. Yes, they cut me off. You remember that?
Andrew, they do that with everyone. Andrew, the past few days, Dean's been permanently banned like 3 times. Like, dude, it's actually crazy.
Dean?
He's been losing his accounts like crazy.
You guys do good, like with like, yeah.
Huh?
Well, I just wanted to put that out there. I mean, I think it's very important for us to communicate on a level where I have a different experience growing up and you have a completely different one as well. And I'm not saying you're weaker than me. I'm not saying you're not a man. I just think that
but you're trying to say somehow spanking makes someone more masculine. You're trying to say that spanking makes someone better at defending themselves. You have literally no evidence of that. You're just making like a caveman trust me bro claim.
Bro, I just gave you evidence. I told you about the single mother theory. It's not a theory; it's a fact.
Wait, you just saying that like there's this percentage of single mother. I mean, this percentage of people in jail are from single mothers, right? Doesn't at all say anything about whether or not, all right, someone getting spanked puts them at a greater likelihood of being able to defend themselves. How the hell does that even relate?
I think it gives you a more outer reach to like you have like a more of an understanding of how capable you are as a man and what level you are able to get to with violence in order to protect yourself and your family, whether that be someone on the street or the government.
Could you provide me any source?
That's
what I thought. No.
The right to bear arms against the government. So, I mean, that's just the fact, right?
The right to bear arms against the government. That's Whoa, yeah, whoa. That definitely told me so much.
The government, everybody. I'm just saying, you should go to a couple classes, get smacked, around, and then, you'll see like, what other men and people are capable of, and what you're living in is a physical world. That's all I'm saying. And you have to prepare yourself for that. You understand?
Yeah. So again, you have given me no reason to believe that spanking is going to put someone at a greater likelihood of being able to defend themselves. You're engaging in conjecture right now. Trust me, bros. Would you like to provide any evidence?
You keep gaslighting the people.
I'm not gaslighting anything. You're providing zero evidence.
I mean, you want me to run in? I'm outside, having a smoke.
Go for it, and get me some evidence next time.
Yeah, you want me to get off? I'll get off, and I'll get you some more evidence.
Andrew, I'm just saying, I want you to provide me some evidence, bro.
I just gave you an evidence. Look it up. Fact check it. Fact checked it. Fact check it right now. You're in front of a computer.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you do that for the audience?
So again, you're the one that made the claim. Okay, I'm not going to just stop engaging in my live to be able to look up the claim that you made, because you know what that does? That sets precedence for people coming on my. Stop talking. That sets precedence for people coming on my live and just telling me to look shit up, and then I'm just constantly not debating people and looking shit up that they say. Okay, so justify your own fucking claims if you want to come up in front of almost 5,000 people and make a claim about spanking. Okay, how about you come up with some evidence? How about you stop running here with absolutely nothing and relying upon a trust me, bro, man?
Dude, I have the evidence. If you want to
I'm gonna check fact it.
Guarantee on the box, I will. But those are the facts. I'm giving you things that are facts.
I'm gonna check fact it.
Yeah, fact check it. All right. That's all really I have to say. I'm not gonna, fuck check it.
Okay. All right, Andrew. Go find your evidence and then come back another time when you
What is
find
this
evidence.
like? What is this stuff, dude? Why are
What
the
is
people
what
like?
stuff? You
Someone's-
needing evidence? I'm sorry. You need evidence to
Oh,
justify
someone's
claims.
like spamming like these crazy things, but it's
crazy
okay.
things?
Honestly, I think I made a good point. I think
Wait,
that
what crazy things?
I don't just a bunch
Why
of people
are
saying
people
crazy
spamming
shit.
that? What's up?
Gay.
Yeah, I don't know why people are
What's that
spamming
about?
that. Me either.
But I debated you before. I'll debate you again when there's more time. But typically, you have about 50 guests looking to, join the live. So it's tough.
I don't know why the chat is doing that.
See what happens? The mob mentality. Everybody just like goes along with everybody else.
Hey, can a mod just can a mod ban that terminology real quick, and then I can just turn it off sub only real quick. Like just the people are like trolling.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like that doesn't work, right? I could literally just turn to sub only real quick, and then no one's gonna do it. Like,
but these are the people that you're up against once you're out in the outside world. These weirdos, these crazies. You know what I mean?
I think we have it. We've banned it. Oh, actually, I have to wait a minute, chat. I have to wait a minute. Okay. Well, do you got anything else you want to add up, man?
No, dude. I just wanted to give you a couple facts.
All right. I'll see. You got nothing. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree. If you want to support me, Venmo and Cash App is in the bio, y'all. Helps me come on here every single day. We're gonna be moving over to the next person real quick. Only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yeah, how old are you? And is that supposed to be a bad thing if someone is gay? What's your birth year? Yo, Mikey, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. Okay, so do you think that being gay is... I mean, not being... Why'd you bring up being gay? And by the way, mute yourself and unmute yourself. Can people hear... Why don't you like gay people? They still can't... You can't hear them, chat? Okay, they still can't hear you, so later, buddy. That's tough. He literally came on just to hit on gay people and then no one could hear him. That's good job, TikTok. Good job, TikTok. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Who, me?
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 34.
For sure. Do you think spanking is abuse?
That depends. What form of spanking do you consider abuse?
If you're intentfully physically harming a child without good reason, that's going to be abuse.
Well, of course. Yes, I do agree to that. That is abuse. The only thing that I see that is spanking is even considered is to discipline. Say...
Yeah, so again, what do you mean by discipline? Because I think that actually we would say that spanking is degrading towards discipline because it actually doesn't necessarily build up those internal values to be able to do or engage in a good manner, right? And instead it actually degrades those. So what do you mean by discipline?
Well, first of all, I was raised in a home where if you acted out, did something you weren't supposed to do, or let's say you go around, breaking stuff, doing let me put it like this, the things that kids do today, I could have never done when I was growing up because it wasn't okay.
Like what?
My parents told me, when you step out of that door, you are not only representing yourself, you are representing me. And
okay, what behavior are you talking about?
Let's see. All right, if you act out, let's say you have a disagreement with something with your parents, throw a fit about it, and start getting very disrespectful. I got disciplined for that. Or acting out in school, when you know that you're going there to learn, just you got disciplined for that. Coming home late, when you know the time that you're supposed to be there. Got disciplined for
And you're
that.
saying all of these deserve you to be spanked?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no.
That's
The
a
reason why I
contradiction,
think-
my guy.
Just let me finish. Let me finish before you start interrupting me, please. So, I grew up at a time where it wasn't okay to skip school. School was a place for you to go to learn, get an education, to make something of yourself. There was at the time that respect wasn't asked for. It was earned. If you wanted respect from your parents, and it was something that you had to earn, but you have to give. It was the utmost that you had to respect your parents because they're your parents. And if you didn't, you got a whooping. Now,
Yeah, and that's harmful.
Huh?
That's harmful.
In what way?
Yeah, it can lead to a greater likelihood of anxiety, PTSD, depression, aggressive behavior, engaging in bad behavior, or being disobedient, right? Things like that you would consider detrimental towards children's development.
Well, do you see all the things that the kids are doing nowadays because there's no discipline in a household? I watch on the news.
I think that's going to be more association with like the iPads, probably like 24/7 than it would be with like spanking. Because if we look at the studies indicate that like kids who are spanked are looked at a significantly worse likelihood in a bad circumstance comparative to someone who's not spanked.
Okay, there's a difference between being disciplined and being abused.
Yeah. Okay. So sure. What do you mean by discipline? What do you mean by abuse?
Discipline. When you discipline somebody, you're not trying to. It's not an intentional thing to try to hurt them. You're trying to get them to understand that what you are doing is not okay. If it's putting them in the corner, if it's having them in timeout for 10, 15 minutes, or it gets to that step where they get spanked once or twice on the butt, and that's it. But when it comes to being abuse is when you're sitting there and you're not only spanking them, but you're doing it to the point where there are marks and welts or bruises. That's abuse.
So are red marks abuse?
Not everybody has the same body type. Not everybody gets red marks, and not everybody gets bruises.
Oh, okay. So do they not indicate, or do they indicate abuse?
Depends on the scenario and why they're being disciplined.
Okay, so do you not have a quality that you can use in all scenarios to identify what's
I got
abuse
you.
and what's not?
All right. So, if your child, knows that, hey, the way that you talk to your mother or the way that you talk to people is very disrespectful. You need to work on how you talk, associate with someone, or approach your mom about stuff. And it's not being...
Colton, thank you so much for the subscription. I appreciate it.
It's not being, well, what's the word I'm looking for? Received. and putting in action, then there's only so how I was raised, there's only so many conversations that there's going to be until you're disciplined, until you get spanked.
Okay.
I know that in my childhood that I was very hard-headed and I didn't listen. Very disrespectful.
Okay, that doesn't mean that you should engage in spanking them, because spanking them will put them in a circumstance in which you would consider them to be in a more detrimental state. Like, again, what I went over earlier, we can also relate to the idea that current maltreatment laws in the United States that are currently considering things to be illegal have the same types of negative outcomes as we see with spanking, right? So they're statistically indistinguishable. Okay, so if that's true, then why would we consider one to be illegal and not the other?
So you're telling me that if you see a child, if someone's child is acting out, sitting there kicking, hitting, grabbing, biting, doing everything under the sun, a parent does not have a right to discipline their child, to let them know that is not okay.
They do, but
is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, you do, but you don't have the right to hit them. What would you like? Do you have to be able to hit them or something? Like, is that the only way you can engage in discipline? That sounds like someone didn't learn how to like be able to develop their own emotional intelligence and own emotional skills
to physically discipline your child.
Like different types of
should be
like
something that is a last resort, and how the way that I look at it. But if you've sat there and you've talked to them, you put them in timeout. You took away things that they enjoy.
Those are not effective ways of being able to deal with stuff. Time in is a more effective way of dealing stuff. So you remove them from the circumstance, and then you go through stuff with them. Why things were wrong? What can we do in the future?
And that's what I'm saying.
This? Are you emotionally dysregulated right now? How do we work through this? Right, the many different things that we can relate to with that. That's what you would do, right? That would be significantly more effective. Go ahead.
So, did you see what's going on in the media? And what they show on TV and things that they tell that they advertise that kids see, that in their mind tells them, oh, I can get away with this because my parents can't spank me, because if they do, I can go to DHS.
Yeah, so it's not about them trying to get away with things always. Right? So you're assuming it is that way because the notion of trying to get away with things is doing something that you want to do or that you think is okay, right? Against your parents' like wants, right? That's the idea. But again, if you consider it yourself to not be a good thing that you would want to engage in, well, then you would never engage in it in the first place. So it's about building up the values in a manner in which they do not want to engage in these actions, and they understand reasons why not to engage in these actions.
Hold on. So in order for a child to understand if it's something that they cannot do, they have to come to their parents and ask them, correct? And there are
not necessarily right. You can build up characteristics within the context of the kid to be able to identify good and bad circumstances, right? That's the whole point of being able to build up values in your kid, is so that when you show them the tools of how you deal with circumstances, they pick up on some of those things, and then they can engage in those, and it can make it better for them, make it easier for them to deal with these circumstances.
This is true. But you know you know what they said about the saying back in the day? It takes a village to raise a child. A kid doesn't just learn from their parents. They learn from everyone that they interact with, good or bad. But it's the parents' job to redirect them. And if it comes to it, discipline them.
Yeah, so the way that your kids engage with almost everyone else in their life is almost always predicated on the notion of how the bond was formed with the parental figure, right? The parental figure's bond is also going to determine in many circumstances how that kid looks for bonds with other people. Okay. So the same type of like tools you bring to a relationship are the same types of things that your kid is going to look for in other people. So it's going to be less likely for them to be in a circumstance where it's going to be negative like that, because they're going to be more likely to be able to identify what is good behavior and what is bad behavior. They know what to expect. Most people who are like my age, they don't know what to expect as good and bad in the context of relationships, right? They have to experience it in order to say that.
This is true.
You can set it up so that they don't have to experience it.
Everything that you learn in life is not over conversation. You have to experience and have that experience in order to identify. That's why when you sit there and you say a parent is supposed to teach, a parent can only teach so much. Until the point where they have to go out and learn things. When they start learning stuff or finding out things.
Wait, you didn't hear my point. You actually literally only listened to the part that you liked, right? You didn't listen to the part where I said you can teach them through ways that do not involve going through the experience, right? A lot of kids happen to go through the experience and that's how they end up learning, but you don't have to make them go through the experience for them to learn. You missed the whole very nature of my point.
Yeah, but even
that's because you keep cutting me off, right? At the end of the points, right? I understand cutting off in the context of bringing back the conversation to some sort of productive context, but you're cutting off and losing the context in which is most important.
Okay, but even then, you can sit there and try to explain a situation or things that happen in life to your child, but the most benefit for them to learn is to experience stuff, correct? Not everybody learns the same as one person than the other. There's people that learn through conversation. There's people.
Can you give me good reason to believe that any kids, all right, learn through the context of physical punishment in an effective way that leads to net positives?
What do you? I never stated that through punishment every child is going to learn and every child is going to have a happy, plentiful experience, because not every child has the same experience than one another. There are children that are out there that are being starved, beat, tortured, all that shit. Sir?
And that shouldn't happen, right? I'm confused why that
I've been through it. I've been through it. I've been abused. I'm
sorry to hear
beat.
that.
I've been whipped with extension cords, belts, all that shit, hat welts and shit. But I don't act out like the kids do when I was younger. I don't sit there and fucking rob stores and disrespect my fucking parents. It's because I had a discipline.
Why are you acting like all kids are fucking robbing stores? Like, get a grip, dude.
No, I never said that.
Rob stores,
did I say that?
Right? Well,
I said all kids that do that.
Again, yeah, and that's not what we're talking about, Heather. I appreciate
and it's not just robbing stores.
And also,
you don't have to rob a store.
And also, even in that circumstance, that doesn't mean that you should still hit them. You should not reinforce the exact same behavior that they just engaged in. Right?
Again,
that's not effective to be able to get them to be able to deal with this in the first place.
Again, like I stated, discipline is not something that should be used at the front of the forefront. It is something that is supposed to be a last resort.
Yeah, so I understand.
Now, everybody has their own opinion on things. I believe that the kids should be disciplined. They shouldn't be beat. They shouldn't be abused. But discipline should be something that it's only used if it has a requirement of it being necessary. Now, we can't sit here and say what's the requirement of when discipline is deemed necessary, because there are different scenarios and people have different beliefs. Correct?
Yeah, people typically have different beliefs, but that does not mean that we should necessarily give any credence to the argument that spanking is not abuse. Right? We would judge that on what we consider to be abuse. right? And you're saying that you only consider something to be abuse in the context of it reaching some sort of excessive
My
barrier,
beliefs
right?
on abuse. I believe when you sit there and you leave welts or red marks all over your child's body,
Red
that's
marks.
abuse.
Okay. So I have dermographia. Right?
There's a difference between being spanked once and there's red marks.
Yeah.
Versus being spanked and being hit multiple times and there's multiple red marks. That's abuse.
Okay, yeah. So if you spanked me multiple times, as when I was a kid, like a parent spanked me multiple times, I would have multiple red marks because I have dermographia. Okay, so literally, regardless of almost how hard you hit, I would have a red mark. Okay, so would that be abuse?
So that is a that's how do I say this without seeming like an asshole or a jackass or there's no excuse to have to sit there and hit your child multiple times to get a point across or to discipline them. One or two spanks on the butt, that, for my opinion, is enough for being a form of discipline. Anything beyond that, I feel, in my opinion, that is abuse.
Okay, so if we want to relate to this, my point would be that one or two spanks, right? I would think that's excessive in the first place, right? Because I'll just ask you this question, right? Given that you spank them one or two times and they don't change their behavior, what would you do?
Find different ways, just like you would do in the first.
You'd go back to communication, right? So what's the point of even going to spanking if you're just going to rely on communication?
And even then, it wouldn't be something that you would directly start communicating to your child for. As a parent or as a stepfather, if I have parents, I go to my dad and like, hey dad, I can't reach this kid. Do you have any advice that will help me help my child and to get him to understand the things that he is doing?
You've cut out, Matthew. You're muted. In the meantime, while he's muted, everyone tap that screen. Let's run it up to 250,000 likes if you want to help get out to more people.
Sorry,
share the live, copy links, send it to your friends. Oh, is it? Do you have an echo? Scroll to the app and scroll back in, Matthew. Scroll back in and scroll out of the app and scroll back in.
Can you hear me?
Scroll out of the app and scroll back
Hello?
in. You have an echo, right? Okay, he just left. All right, we're just going to go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree. We are just looking for some debates. Let's get on to the next person real quick. Please only send a guest request if you think that spanking is not abuse, y'all. All right, let's get the next person up here. Yo, what's up? Oh, are you driving?
Yo, I just heard that we're not supposed to join if we're supposed to join only if we disagree. So I don't want to waste your time.
Up. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do disagree, y'all. Again, we are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Are you driving?
55.
He's driving. We're going to go to the next person. Please only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. We are just looking for some debates. Driving is against TOS, everyone. What's up, Tina? All right. Okay, we're going to go to the next person. Please only send a guest request if you disagree. It's really not accepting this person. So let's get the next individual up here real quick, y'all. What's up, Toby? How you doing? What's good? Keep tapping that screen. Keep sharing the live, y'all. Again, if you do want to support me, Venmo and Cash App is in the bio, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
How's it going?
Yeah, how old are you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
29.
Is there a way you can turn off the background noise?
Yes, hold on.
For sure. Yeah, do you think spanking is abuse?
So what is this about?
Do you think spanking is abuse?
Yes, I believe it. I believe so.
Oh, you do? Okay, I'm just looking for people who disagree. Appreciate you coming up. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Are just looking for people who disagree, y'all. Please only send a guest request if you think that spanking is not abuse, y'all. Just looking for people who disagree, everyone. What is this about? Hence the caption. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not going to question it anymore, you know? You know, maybe he just doesn't know, chat. Maybe he just doesn't know. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 34.
Are you driving?
Yes.
TikTok TOS, y'all. Only send a guest request if you're not driving. TikTok TOS. And you're driving too. Chat, why is everyone driving? And now he's just connected and I can hear him driving, chat. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 32.
Chat, I can literally, do y'all hear that? I can literally just hear someone driving now. Yeah, can you, yeah, thank you so much, man. Yeah, no, I don't know either, but yeah, I don't know. I appreciate it though. Thank you so much, man. You're good. Have a good day as well. Yo, Brooke, thank you so much for the cash app. I appreciate it. Yo, yeah, that's actually so funny. Yo, thank you so much, bro. That was, honestly, that was such a cool man. Cool man. He just got connected and I heard it like a semi driving. I was like, it's so loud. I can't hear anything. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I nutted.
We're gonna name the next person. Please only send a guest request. If you disagree, we are just looking for some debates, y'all. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? All right, let's get the next person up here. Only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. We are just looking for people who disagree. Let's get the next individual up here, y'all. We need Archie. So real, so real. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, how old are you?
18.
What's your birth year? Yeah, cap. That's cap, chat. That's so cap. That's so cap. Let's try the next person, everyone. Please only send a guest request if you do disagree, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
41.
For sure. Do you think that spanking is abuse?
No.
Why not?
First of all, I don't agree with a lot of the things. Discipline is one thing, and when you tell your child, now I will admit I have never spanked any three of my children ever. I have never done that, never had to. However, they knew damn well I'd be ready to do it. Discipline only goes so far. I mean, put yourself in a prison situation. There's adult males that spank. I could take somebody in an adult prison in males and I could take them over my leg and twap them on the butt and say, you better not do that again. And they're going to know real quick. Or I could go to the prison and I could say, now you sit in this corner. You've been a bad boy. It doesn't work that way. There's a difference.
You spank people in prison?
Yeah, you can. You can do anything you want in prison. You can fuck someone in the ass if you want.
Unconsensually?
Yeah, that's the way prison works, buddy.
That's prison abuse. That's illegal. Okay.
Not necessarily.
That's grape. That's illegal.
Well, either way, I'm just giving you an example.
Are you talking about what you can do or what you have done?
I'm not talking about what I've done. No, I never said that.
Okay, so then why'd you even bring it up?
Well, I'm bringing it up for a simple case in point that adult males get spanked.
Okay, and that doesn't mean it's good. So?
It doesn't mean that it's good, but they learn a lesson a lot quicker than they would.
No, they don't. No, can you give me any evidence of that being true? Like study.
Yeah. Go into a prison and tell
give me a study.
A bad boy and tell him to sit in a corner.
That's not, Jim, that's not what I'm arguing for. If you think that's the only idea of communication, well, then you just lack emotional intelligence. You lack the skills necessary to be a parent. Unironically, if you don't think that there's any other type of communication other than bad boy, sit in corner.
How many kids do you have to speak on this?
I have 0 kids, and I still know.
So I still know a subject that you don't even know.
I don't need kids to know that spanking is bad.
Well, no.
You
You're
understand
not
that,
a
right?
parent. You've never been triggered in any sort of way from your child.
My kids, my parents didn't need to hit me.
You
My
would
parents didn't need
never
to hit me. My parents
understand
needed to
how
hit
you
my
would react
sisters.
Till you're in it. It doesn't matter until you are a parent.
What, do you want me to
will
get
not
parents up here
understand.
that also agree with me? Do you want me to my fucking parents myself, right? Like you
What does
know
that
there are
matter?
lots of people
You're
your
not
age that don't agree with
You've
you, right?
never been triggered by your child because you don't have one, Parker.
Yeah, I'm not going to be ever triggered in a manner in which I'm going to hit them.
Well, you don't know that because
I do know that.
You don't have a child.
Jim, I promise you I'm never going to hit my kid.
You never know.
I promise you I'm never going to.
You can't say that.
You want to put money on it?
Confidently, you cannot. You could say it.
I can confidently say it.
No, but it's not the truth, though.
It is
because
the
you
truth.
haven't
It
gone
is
through
absolutely
the
the truth.
Experience.
I don't need to go through it in order to know that I'm never going to hit my kid.
Really? Because okay,
Yes.
well, I know plenty of children, and now I'm not in any way, shape, or form religious. Zero. I don't believe in God. Okay, that's just my stance. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't.
I don't believe in God either.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. Okay, we agree on something. I have a Christian uncle and my cousin, who was my very best friend.
June Bugs, I
was
appreciate the subscription.
told
Thank you so much.
Without discipline of spanking, went through his whole life, became a heroin addict, went and did this, and has been in jail for over 20 years. Now, if he would have got swatted one time, that could have changed his whole life. They did everything the correct way, and this is how he ended up. Why is that?
Yeah, I don't think that's true that someone did everything correct
That is
and like spanking would have
absolutely
helped
true.
them. Can you
My
give me any
uncle-
study to indicate that, again, spanking would have
What
caused
study?
them?
What is there a study? Are you taking like little kids and asking little kids that think they want to be superheroes study, or how do you do this study?
Yeah, so there's clear methodologies that are linked in the bibliographies that are in the bibliography that I have for each different study that exists. It depends on the study that you're referencing, right?
Well, I don't know
Typically,
any.
there's going to be observational proofs that are going to relate to like control groups and take into account different types of variables to see whether or not there's like a meaningful correlation or association with two different variables.
Yeah, but if they involve children, that's all manipulative.
What do you mean manipulative?
Oh, you can convince a child that they're a superhero, and if they eat all
that's not the idea. No, it's what behavior they exhibit. So they're judging on externalized behavior, right? If you want to relate to behavior problems at ages 3 years old, there's a 30% increase each time, 31% increase each time you spank a child in terms of behavior problems at age 3.
Okay, what's the percentage of when you spank an adult for being out of line and then you get different consequences?
I don't have anything for that. We're talking about spanking in children.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, you're talking on a topic that you know nothing about because you don't have children, so I'm confused.
I don't need children to be able to say I can look at like a study or the descriptive statistics of a study and be able to interpret the results of it.
Yeah, but your study is based upon children.
Okay.
Okay, children cannot make that decision. If your children or your child,
we're observing it.
The doctor said,
the child isn't doing anything.
What? We're gonna have to amputate your legs. What do you want to do here, bud? The child would be like, no. Oh, well, you're gonna die in 24 hours. The child's gonna say no, and then the parents have to step in.
Wait, so Jim, if you can't provide any evidence of your position, how is that any different from the Christians that you'd critique that believe in God?
I don't believe in Christians or God.
I know, that's exactly what I'm saying. They believe in God and they provide no evidence, right? So you're doing the same thing as it relates to spanking. You're saying that it's okay and providing no evidence, right? That says that it doesn't. You're saying that it leads to like a better impact on children. Can you show me any net positive impact of spanking on children?
Do I have an echo?
Any net positive impact? You just swipe out of the app, swipe back in. Jim, just swipe out of the app, swipe back in. Swipe out, swipe back in. Swipe out, minimize, there you go, and swipe back in. Once you swipe back in, I'll unmute you, man, because then there won't be an echo. In the meantime, everyone, keep tapping that screen. Let's run it up to 250,000 likes. You can scroll back into the app, man. Jim, go back. Oh, Jim, come on. Jim, you can send a guest request back, and I'll accept you back, but I don't see you in the guest box right now, man. So send a guest request back right now, Jim, if you do want to. Otherwise, I'm going to go on to the next person. Please only do send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. We are just looking for debaters, y'all. There he is.
I'm sorry about that. That was my
You're good. Don't worry. All you have to do is swipe out of the app and then swipe back in.
No, Parker, again, I'm a fan of you. I've debated against you before. I forget what was it, but yeah, no, I'm not trying to argue or anything. It's just in my personal experience, I found it more necessary than unnecessary to whack your child on the butt. I mean, like, even when it comes to you, you said you have, what is it? There's some sort of a thing you have where you get red marks.
Yeah, I have demographia, but you said it's necessary, but you didn't need to spank any of your kids. That seems like contradictory.
No, I did not personally. I did not.
Yeah. So you didn't need to. So it's not necessary.
Yeah, I did not. Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. 100%. I did not.
It's also not necessary then.
Sometimes it is necessary. Like I brought up my cousin who became a heroin addict and ended up ultimately dying because
I don't think spanking would have stopped that from happening.
You never know.
Can you give me any reason to believe that to be true?
Yeah. Because, the way he grew up was go sit in the corner, you're in timeout.
I believe in like time in. Also, just because that's a correlation causation fallacy. You're saying that because two things are associated, that just means one caused the other. That's why you need a study to be able to determine whether or not these two variables are actually meaningfully associated.
Yeah. Oh, well, I understand that. I just saying there could have been two different outcomes there. I don't think either of us can deny that.
I don't think that spanking would have led to this not happening.
Oh, we don't know that. We can't prove that.
You also can't prove that it would happen differently.
You're right. So
okay.
I guess we'll agree to disagree.
Okay.
And then when it comes to red marks, you said, would that be abuse? And now you have this this condition when you scratch yourself and you get a red mark. Are you abusing yourself?
Well, I don't. My standard isn't a red mark.
Well, I'm just wondering. I mean, because you've asked that for other people's.
Yeah, because their standard is a red mark.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, if you whack your leg or stub your toe and you get a red mark, did you just abuse yourself? The answer is no.
That's not my standard, and also that would be towards a different person.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, when it comes to that, I mean, because red marks, you did bring that up, and you said, "Do you believe that's abuse?" And you wanted him to say yes. Whereas if you scratch yourself and you have
no, if he said yes, then I would have a response to it. I was just saying what they said.
You know what I mean? And that's how ridiculous it sounded when you said about the red marks. Because you get red marks, that would mean you're actually abusing yourself for what you were trying to get that man to say. You wanted him to say yes.
Yeah, no, I literally was just asking to see if they hold that, to show the absurdity held by holding that standard. Because if they're either holding to a red mark or if they're holding to bruises, I think that those are just not reliable standards in determining whether or not there's abuse.
Yeah, I know, but a red mark, what is a red mark? What does that determine? A bruise? I mean, I get bruises all the time. I mean, I was a boxer for 13 years. I got my face punched in.
But the idea is that the spanking causes a bruise, what they would consider to be abuse.
Not all.
But
Spanking causes bruises. That's
no one said that. No one said that. Jim, when the fuck did I make that claim?
Well, you just said
never. I never made that claim.
Spanking.
What?
Who spanks someone and gives bruises when they spank them? I mean, that's a crazy spanking.
Well, apparently some people do, and that's what's considered. It's currently illegal in most places in the U.S. And then
somebody just asked me, "Did I get spanked?" No, I didn't get spanked. I was abused.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, fuck, it is what it is.
Yeah, but that shouldn't happen. We shouldn't exist in a society where children are treated that way.
Agree. You should not abuse anyone. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
I get spanked. No, I wish I got fucking spanked.
Jim, do you think that the current maltreatment laws that are illegal in the United States should stay illegal?
I'm sorry, Parker, what was your question again?
Do you think current maltreatment laws in the United States should stay illegal?
You said maltreatment?
Maltreatment, yeah.
I honestly, Parker, I'm not as smart as you, and I don't know the current laws or what's going on with that. To be honest with you, I don't know.
Yeah, so we're just talking about in terms of hitting, assaulting, right? Doing stuff like that, right? Bruising. right? If you think that that should be considered abuse, right? Well, then they have the same types of outcomes as spanking does on children, right? So it's statistically indistinguishable. So if we were to say that one should be illegal, well, then we'd also say the same thing about the other.
I don't really know. I guess I didn't really look into it to give you a confident answer.
Well, I also in my bibliography in my bio, if you'd like to check that out, I have a source that compares physical punishment to other forms of currently considered maltreatment and physical abuse.
Is that involving children?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's where I have a tough time with that because children think they're superheroes at the age of 11.
It's not. It's about observing their what they call the behaviors. It's not about what they think. What's up?
How many children were in that study? The one you're referencing?
I would have to check. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I mean, if it was a massive study,
it's
okay,
definitely probably in the thousands or at least in the hundreds. I know it's statistically significant, obviously, which is only like 30 under CLT or central limit theorem, or to like 23 under other methods. So I mean, those are statistically significant ones, but we have way larger sample sizes than that.
Got you. Okay. Well, I'd have to do research on that and educate myself. It's a good point. That's something I don't know about, Parker.
All right, man.
So,
all right, I appreciate you coming up. Thank you so much, man.
All right, thanks.
All right. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree. We are just looking for some debates, everyone. Only send a guest request if you think that. By the way, it's 4898. Thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate it. It's 4898, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, I'm 21.
For sure. Do you think that spanking is abuse?
No.
Why not?
Because it's spanking. It's not. There's nothing being used. If you use a belt, I think that's abuse.
Okay. Why is spanking with a belt abuse, but spanking with a hand is not abuse?
Because you're just trying to teach you. It's to be a lesson.
Well, can it be a lesson with a belt too?
Bro, okay, but here's the thing. You don't have kids, so you wouldn't understand. Do you have kids?
Dude, do you have kids?
No, I don't have kids. That's why I'm saying.
You're the same fucking age as me. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but you can't say spank. Like, you don't understand. Like, I can imagine.
Then how can you say it's okay?
If you have an 8-year-old.
Yeah, Cam, right? How can you say it's okay?
Hold on, let me explain. If you have an 8-year-old, right? And it's doing the same wrong thing after being told a million times not to be done. How else is there to
Rachel Herrera, thank you so much. Sage My Soul, I appreciate the subscriptions. Thank you so much for the 5 subs. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, he left. Yeah, that guy's speaking nonsense anyway. Like, what? Dude, he's literally the same age as me, dude. You don't have kids either. Like, bro, what are you talking about? Bro, what are you saying? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
What's up, bro? I'm 26.
For sure. Do you think that spanking is abuse?
Let me start by prefacing and saying I think any form of discipline can be considered abusive. I think, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
So do you think spanking is abuse? Savannah, thank you so much for the $2. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
If you want to label it that, sure. But do I think it's necessary for some kids? Yeah.
Why?
Because some lessons, I feel like we, as a parent, as a guardian, we're here to teach our kids real repercussions of adulthood. So, but I also believe we're here to shelter our children so they don't have to go through certain repercussions, right? So if I tell my child not to hop over said fence because there's a rabid dog on the other side and they don't listen, I feel like the worst outcome of that is a dog getting a hold of them, you know? So if they do it once, twice, 3 times and words aren't working, I believe physical punishment will stick with them better.
Why don't you try a different type of communication pattern, right? Because clearly speaking, it probably isn't working. You also need to identify why they're engaging in this particular behavior in the first place. Obviously, those would be significantly more effective than dealing with physical punishment. Physical punishment would actually put them at a greater likelihood of engaging in aggressive behavior, being disobedient, developing anxiety, PTSD, depression, right? A significant increase of externalization of behaviors, given the fact that they are spanked. So, like, I just don't see good reason to believe that spanking is going to be effective at limiting behavior that you consider to be bad.
I feel that, but it's all due for their protection, right? Like, everything we do to discipline our children is for their protection, right? So
nope, there are lots of things parents do that's not for the protection of their children.
Well,
right? They might intentfully in some circumstances
speaking, yes,
do it
yes,
for
yes.
protection, but that doesn't mean that it ultimately
intention.
does lead to protection. We actually see that it doesn't lead to protection. It actually leads to worse outcomes for children.
Okay, well, the intention of parenthood should be protecting your child and teaching your child there are real repercussions to their actions, right? So if I don't want my child to suffer a real life repercussion of a dog being able to chew her up and I'm not able to help her, I think spanking would be the lesser outcome in that situation.
So you'd have to
get
give me
why
a
I said
reason
that?
that spanking is going to be good at limiting bad behavior, which you have no
Because
evidence of.
I'm saying it's a more direct method of discipline that sticks with a child more. I'm not saying, because like I said, I prefaced by saying I think almost every level of discipline can be considered abuse. You see what I'm saying? So if I have to,
What's your
quote
definition of
unquote,
abuse?
abuse, abuse is doing anything you I ain't gonna say you don't want to do, but anything that can hurt you in any type of way.
So taking vaccinations are abuse?
No. You know what I mean. All right, bro, but you know what I mean, right? So abuse can be anything that, I don't know, bro. You give me a definition of abuse and let me
We're talking in a physical context, intentfully physically harming your child without good reason.
I'm not talking about just physically though. You feel me? Because abuse can be
yeah, but we're
can be
talking in a
mental,
physical
too.
context right now because we're talking about spanking. We can talk about other forms of abuse, but then our definition would be slightly different.
I feel that. Okay. Well, I think it leaves more of a lasting impression on children. You feel me? Physical pain leaves more of a lasting impression on I think people in general. You feel me? If I can't stop my child from dealing or doing something verbally and having them avoid the repercussion of that, I'm going to spank them because I don't want them to have to experience the ultimate repercussion of, aka hopping that fence. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I understand that that's your goal here, but my point is that, first of all, it's not going to be effective at reducing their likelihood of getting in that circumstance, right? And second of all, it's probably going to put them at a greater likelihood of getting into that circumstance in the first place, right?
And
Even though
why
you
is
might
that?
associate otherwise, because I just told you, externalization of behaviors is significantly greater likely to happen given the fact that they're spanking, right? And in some of those externalizations of behaviors, what we're talking about is like the aggressive behavior, right? The disobedience, right? The not engaging in good behavior, the development of anxiety, PTSD, depression, things like that we would associate with detrimental outcomes in terms of children's development.
I'll give my kid PTSD if it means they don't hop over that fence. Being a parent sometimes means you got to make you can only teach one lesson at a time, and the child truly understand that lesson. You get what I'm saying? So if I have to spank you and give you that lesson, and it's going to give you something to think about tomorrow, you get me? Because that's what PTSD is, right? It's something you think about down the road.
PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder.
Stress disorder, right.
So you want your kid to have post-traumatic stress disorder?
Rather than a bite mark in their cranium.
Yeah, so again, you're supposing that this is going to stop them from getting that.
But I've already
I just told you that it's not.
But I verbally told them, right? So all right.
Telling them isn't an effective communication, right? You gotta go through the reasons why it's bad.
Yes,
you gotta get them to a point where they like form an understanding.
But that's their children. Their brains aren't even fully developed. How are they gonna come to a point of fully understanding. And
my brain isn't fully developed as a 21-year-old.
I told
How old are you?
I said I'm 26.
Yeah, so your brain's just fully developed. Do you think 5 years ago you could have learned something?
Yeah, most
okay, well
definitely.
then at that point your brain was not fully developed.
But we're talking about children. We're talking about children. As an adult, as even a teenager, I can understand a life and death situation. Not all children are going to realize that, right? So in the court of law, or like just the justice system, period, you could be a one-time offender, a two-time offender, a three-time offender, and every time you commit this offense, right, your sentence, or whatever the word for it, I can't think of it right now, is going to go up. They're going to be like, okay, here's a ticket. Okay, we need you in court. Okay, this, we need you to pay X amount. Okay, you're still not listening, you're going to jail. You feel me? So if I talk to my kid, I show them why they shouldn't hop that fence, and I progressively tell them why they shouldn't do something, and they're still doing it. The last action on my part is a spanking. Because
if you spank them and they keep doing it, what do you do?
I don't know. You feel me? I don't know. I guess we go back from step
Go
one.
back to communication?
Yes.
So why would you even go to physical punishment in the first place if ultimately the backbone is just going to be communication anyway?
Because I already told you, physical punishment
can teach them. Okay, so can you give me any evidence that physical punishment is effective at teaching children to do things that are good?
I mean, if you want to say physical punishment, bro, going to the gym and doing pull-ups repetitively would be considered physical punishment, right? So it's callousing. It's callousing because you could go to the gym, and if you've never done 10 pull-ups in your life, your body is capable of doing 10 pull-ups. It's your brain that's telling you not to, right? But if you go to the gym and you do, okay, I did 10 pull-ups yesterday, I did the day before, and the day before that, it's you understand.
Can you give me a single study that says that spanking leads towards children learning in an effective manner?
No. I ain't got any studies, bro. I got my experience.
So our experiences are extremely biased in forming conclusions about what's going to be affecting the overall population.
Most definitely,
because they're subject to selection biases, right, and other things that we can't take into account, given that we're just here, right? So it's highly subject to a correlation causation fallacy. So it's highly subject to a correlation causation fallacy because you can't actually determine whether or not there's a meaningful association between two variables. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. I see where you're coming from, buddy.
Yeah, and that's why we require these studies, and that's why I have a bibliography mentioned in my bio that you can look through. There's like, if you think that current forms of maltreatment are bad and should be considered illegal in the United States, well, then also would be the case that you'd consider spanking to be it should be illegal.
Wait, repeat that again. Repeat the correlation between spanking and what?
Yeah, so there's statistically indistinguishable outcomes as it relates to spanking and current forms of maltreatment that are considered legally prohibited in the United States, like illegal. So if you consider
maltreatment,
yeah. So if you consider some like illegal but the others not, then there would be some sort of special pleading here.
Okay. I'm gonna look at it. So it's in your bio.
Yep, link tree's in my bio.
Gotcha.
Appreciate it, man.
Yep, have a good one.
Have a good one as well. All right, we're going to go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree. We are just looking for some debates. Let's